Hi, in this session I'll cover how to create a very basic Gantt chart. Now for a very simple Gantt chart you can probably just do it in Excel. For anything more complex I probably suggest using Microsoft Project. But this is something we can create a very simple basic Gantt chart and you kind of put it into a PowerPoint or just kind of leave an Excel document. So here's an example of a Gantt chart. This is the table that we're basing it off of. So let's go ahead and put it together. Now really all you need from this table is the description, the start date, and the duration, and their particular data that's under these columns. Don't really need an end date to put into the chart, but just kind of have this here for some additional information for the table. So what we're going to do is copy this portion. Let's just copy this, Control C. Now let's go to sheet 2 and paste it onto sheet 2 here. Now we'll go ahead and insert a chart, and I like keyboard shortcuts, so we'll press Alt F1. That's the keyboard shortcut to create a graph and a chart. And by default, in my version of Excel, it will create a column chart. See, you have the different chart styles for the column. And what we need to do is have a bar chart. So go here and change the chart type. And what we need is a stacked bar chart. And bring that in there, and you can see now the chart styles have changed for a bar chart. So let's go ahead and start adding data into there. Now go into the select data, and what we want to do is add the. Let's go ahead and add the duration. Well, the series name is duration, and the series values are those 10 values under duration. Alright, click OK. And let's also add the start date. We add another one. We'll add start date. And under the series values, delete that and just select the 10 start date values. And click OK. And what you see here is now we have our start dates. Let me move this over. Our start dates in red. They've kind of covered over our duration, and what happens is that the order in which these entries are put in there kind of decided on covering it up. So I'm going to move the start date up, and once I move the start date up, we'll see that we've got our stack columns a little bit better represented here. So we want to change also this horizontal axis, the category axis, to have the task 1, task 2, task 3. So what we're going to do is edit this, and for the axis label range we're going to select task 1 to task 10 and click OK. So we see we have it here now. Let's click OK, and we don't need this legend here, so we're just going to select that and delete it. And let's kind of make this a little bit longer, and we see here that we have task 1, task 2, task 3. This is in ascending order, but we have this in descending order. That can be easily changed. Just select that, right click, and go to Format Axis. Now in the Format Axis, what we want to do is check off this box where it says Categories in Reverse Order. That will change that. So now we're good there. Also, what we may want to do, I'll close that. Actually, we don't need to close this, because the nice thing about Excel is when you're selecting areas in here and you want to format something, you can just select the different areas. We've already changed our categories in reverse order here. We want to do some changes here. Let's go ahead and click up here, and you can see now we have our format axis applied to the horizontal axis. Now what we want to do in this case is let's change the date. Let's make it a little bit more smaller, so it's a little easy to read. Let's change that. And for our axes item, we want our major units. There's 7 days in the week, so we'll go ahead and change it to the major unit to 7. Now let's click close. One thing we also need to change here is we noticed that we really started this on January 1st, 2011, but Excel has kind of automatically added in some dates prior to that. So what we want to do is find out what date to start this at. And what we can do is go into the start date here, and I like to use the keyboard shortcuts again, so we just press Control 1. And we want to see how Excel represents dates. Excel represents dates in a serial number format. So January 1st, 2011 in Excel is really 40,544. So just remember that number, 40,544. Click OK. We go back to this horizontal axis here, and then right click, go to Format Axis, and we want to change our minimum fixed option to 40,544. So that's going to start it off at January 1st. Oops, look, I changed it here. Let's go ahead and change this one back. Change that one back to date, so that all looks the same. Okay, so now we've started at the January 1st date. Now we don't want to see these start dates anymore. We just want to see the duration. And so what we're going to do is right click on these start dates, and we're just going to white them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the fill color and basically have it to no fill. Click close, and there you have our little Gantt chart here. We can also clean this up a little bit. Maybe we don't want these lines. Actually, that's probably a good idea to have the lines in there. It gives you kind of a nice view of where it is. But maybe we don't want these tasks here because we really sometimes these are close together, and we want to see the task on the bar. One way we can do that is to select on the bars and right click and go under Add Data Labels, and it automatically adds the data. What we want to do is we want to go to Format Data Labels and add the series names. Oops, not the series names, the category name. So the category name will basically give us those tasks. So we can click close, and we have these tasks here, and for these we can probably get rid of them. If we go under I think it's font, we can probably just white them out. We don't have to have them there. You can either do that or we can keep them. So it's up to you. But some people like to see them, the description on the bar, and some people like to see it on the side. So there's our very basic Gantt chart in Excel. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.